Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Intervals podcast. Today I'm here with Tempo Giusto. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm good. How about you?
I'm good, man. Just taking a break from school, getting to talk to you.
Yeah, same exactly. And just trying to survive the COVID situation here.
Likewise, man.
One day, living from one day to the next, right?
Exactly. Okay, so let's get into it. So, first question I have for you is if someone has never heard your music before, a new listener, what would be the first song that you would recommend for them to listen to by you?
It's a tough question because I have kind of like two answers. If I want to impress the person, then I would say go to listen to Mr. Navigator with Armin Van Buuren, and then they think I'm a hot shot. But if it would have to be something else, maybe I could tell them to go check out, for example, The Fall. That's quite a good energetic trance track, or Paradigm Shift. That's also kind of a cool tech progressive tune, which is maybe a little closer to my own original sound.
Yeah, Paradigm Shift is one of my favorites too. So
Yeah.
I like that answer. Okay, so speaking about songs like Mr. Navigator, where you've collaborated with somebody as big as Armin Van Buuren, one of the biggest DJs, like what are some important lessons that you have taken away from that sort of collaboration with him or anybody else that you've collaborated with who's been in the game longer than you, let's say? What are some lessons you've taken away from them?
Uh, well, I think, yeah, I think the lessons are somewhat the same with all the people I've done tracks with. You have to be kind of flexible and respect the other person's wishes, right? Because you both have kind of artistic visions, right? I do my kind of music, and Armin does his kind of music, and Lance or Alex Morph does their kind of tracks, or Mark Sherry. So you have to kind of like, if you don't like something 100%, but the other one loves it, then you should kind of try to find good middle ground, and find what would you say, kind of like a cold golden middle path in everything. So to get something, you have to give something. So flexibility would be, I guess one thing. Um, I think the flexibility is the most important thing, because all of my collabs have gone fairly well. I haven't had any issues with everyone and with anyone, and it's just been kind of smooth sailing in a sense. So I haven't learned to watch out for anything bad, and it's just been kind of good, I guess.
So you're studying dentistry at the moment, which
Yeah.
congratulations on that. You're very close to finishing your school. Um,
That's,
so what made you want to start studying dentistry?
um, when I was around 20 years old, and I had graduated from the what is it called, secondary education school, or like high school basically, in Finland. So after that, I was wondering whether I should go down and try the music road, or then study medicine. And everyone told me to try the music thing first, because it's kind of like a young man's game. You can always study later on and work as a dentist or a doctor. So I decided to try music first. I moved to London. I studied music for 2 years, and then I just worked on music for around 10 years with a company. And then at some point, I thought that, because I have a lot of free time, and I'm still interested in medicine as well, maybe I should give that a shot. And I also thought that it would be, a good idea to have like a backup plan. So for example, right now with this
Oh,
COVID
perfect.
situation, when all gigs are gone, and it's very, very tough for all entertainers and people who work in culture. So now I'm feeling very relieved that I have something that I can kind of fall onto. And it's I was first a little scared that if studying dentistry would kind of take me away from music, and I wouldn't have time for it. But I've been able to do both quite well, and so far it's all been peachy, I guess.
There you go.
Although it's kind of hard with having the time to do everything, but so far it's been okay.
Exactly. I mean, I guess your COVID backup plan really paid off, huh?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's sad to see some of my artist friends, they're really struggling right now because being a musician has been the only thing that they've been doing, and it just, you know, there's nothing to do, right? There's no work, and they just feel quite depressed about the situation. So although I'm not glad about them not doing well, I'm glad that I took the
Exactly. Of course.
plan B road, and yeah, like I said, I'm just relieved that I have something else at the moment, and hopefully I will be able to get back to live gigs as soon as possible. But I'm just trying to make the most out of this time I have now. So yeah.
Exactly. So you've said that there are some people who have doubted your choice to continue your education further and take on another career path as well as being a DJ. So what would you say is the hardest part about keeping that balance? Because you've still been consistently dropping music as a DJ. You've been doing a great job with that. So what's the hardest part of keeping that balance between your studies and creating music?
Uh, well, it's I guess it's kind of a tough question because it all depends on what kind of a person you are and how do you work when it comes to both fields. Um, I've always been quite fast at producing. I'm quite fast technically, and when I get on the right mood, I get quite a lot of done in a short period of time. So if we think about, for example, one original production, like one original music track, if I work on it 8 hours a day for like a week, I usually, get quite, far away when it comes to finishing a track. So there, when you study at an university, you also have lots of lessons that you can skip, and you can study on your own at home and stuff. And so I've been able to kind of, take time off from school whenever I've needed to work on music, and it's just kind of like balancing between the two. And I mean, there have been times when dentistry school in Finland, at least it's the kind of school that it actually reminds of being at like an elementary school, that you have to be there, you have to treat patients, and unlike in many other fields, you can't study that as much independently at some point. So at some point I've been very tired because I had to be at school for 8 hours a day, work with the patients, and then study compulsory stuff. And then I've had to also work on the music, do promotion on social media, update websites and stuff like that, and maybe do a radio show and promo videos and live gigs on the weekend and stuff. So there have been times when I've been really tired and kind of struggling with time. But then, I just knowingly, take some time off from music mostly because, well, this is like talking about an essay now, but when I, for example, when I have Christmas holidays, I usually have 3 weeks off from school, and then during that 3 weeks, I usually focus on music 100%. So I might, on average, I usually wrap up 3 to 4 tracks during the Christmas holidays. So when I have 4 tracks, for example, in reserve, then when spring starts, I don't have to do music for like 3-4 months. Basically, I can just, those 4 tracks kind of give me leverage on preserving time for my studies if I need to, or free time or whatever. So that's basically how I've been able to do this. On summer holidays, I do more music, make maybe 4 to 5 tracks, and then take a little break in the autumn and maybe just work on a remix. And then Christmas holidays, 3 to 4 tracks. So then you constantly have something in reserve.
That's perfect. You have backup tracks that if you don't get to making more, you have in your repertoire.
Yeah, and I've had that situation kind of always during my career, that I've had a few tracks in reserve, because there, sometimes you get months when you're not just inspired to work, on something artistic, like, you're feeling really inspired on December, but then January and February come in and you're like, no, I don't want to do this. I just don't have the right feeling for it. So having a few tracks in reserve gives you that freedom, that you don't have to kind of force it, so to speak.
Exactly. So that's a very interesting answer. So over the past couple of years, you've become one of the leading names in tech trends. And so I was curious to ask, what were some of the plans you have going into the future, let's say in the near future of 2021, with balancing your new career and the music? What are some new creative directions you want to take? What are some new projects you want to work on? Anything new that we should be expecting?
Yeah. COVID has changed things quite a lot. Obviously, it's hard to say when we get back to live gigging. And before COVID started, I signed a new booking agency deal with David Lewis Management, which is the same booking agency that Armin has. So I haven't really seen what we can do together, because all live gigs are canceled. So I'm really looking forward to see what happens once the borders open up again, and we get back to normal live performances and events. But when it comes to music, it's my music has always been a little more club friendly, maybe, because I've always loved to have lots of power in music, good driving bass lines and big kind of reverby themes and stuff, so that you really have the power in a club, and you can really feel it. But naturally, right now, because we're spending most of the time at home and on our own, it's people and myself also, people like to listen to maybe more calmer kind of music right now. And I work
right now. That's why.
sorry.
Life is so stressful right now. That's why.
Yeah, it's and I like to listen to kind of chill out and ambient at home and stuff like that. It's if you're just alone at home, you don't want to listen to like the massive club bangers. And I work exclusively right now with Armin Music, and they've asked me to try to do just to test around if I would try to do something more progressive and more melodious, and or maybe a little bit towards techno, a little slower. So I've done that in the past 6 months or so, and you should be able to hear the results of that soon. So instead of going to like 138 ppm, like full on club bangers, it's gonna be like 130 progressive techno kind of stuff, and there's gonna be also kind of like progressive house, more melodic kind of material. Just something that I've experimented with. But I've also done a few, of those kind of club bangers that are unique, or I want to say that would be that are familiar with my name, that people know me of.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not like I'm moving completely away from original style. But I think that during my career, I've always experimented with different styles. I've done music from 126 ppm to 142, and I've done like really dark bangers, and then I've done happier trance tunes and everything between. So yeah, hopefully people will like it, and yeah, it's hard to say. I think the tracks are good.
I'm excited to hear them.
Yeah, I never intend to do anything crap, and I never release anything that I'm not happy with myself.
Exactly.
So I would think that if someone likes my music and has similar taste, they would also like the other kind of stuff that I do. But I mean, it's still within electronic dance music, obviously, and trance and stuff like that. So yeah, so that's the artistic vision that's gonna happen this year at least. And yeah, tastes change and styles change, so it's kind of an never-ending progression, I guess.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm excited to hear this new creative direction that you're talking about, this experimental kind
Yeah.
of things that you're planning on doing. So Thank you so much. This was so much
Thank you.
fun, and I really enjoyed meeting you and getting to talk to you about your music. So
Thank you.
so much for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me, and I hope we'll get over this nasty situation soon and back to normal life, so that I can come back. Sorry, that I can make my US debut as well, which I was supposed to do
I'm looking
with
forward
Dream
to
State.
it. Believe me.
Yeah.
I will be at Dream State if you go. Believe me.
Yeah, it's gonna be clubby.
All right. Thank you so much. So this is the Intervals
All right.
podcast. Thank you so much for coming on. I really enjoyed this.